Hi, whoever's entered the room. Hi, Joe. Hi. I'm just having a bit of trouble at the moment. I'm trying to stream it to my website, but it's saying it's not working. So just bear with me a moment. I'm going to see if I can sort that out. Someone else has entered. Who's that? Let me just have a look. Hi, Charmaine. I'm just trying to sort something out on my website, so bear with me. Because I think I'm getting people joining. Put the wrong key in, I think. I'll start in a sec, guys. I'm just waiting for people to come in as well. Anyway, so I've never streamed to my website before, so I don't know if I've set it up correctly. I thought I had, but let's have a look. How's everybody doing anyway? How's your week been? Have you missed me? I've actually missed doing Tarot Tuesday, to be honest with you. I really have. Right. So let me just cancel that. Videos. Might be a bit quiet tonight, guys, in actual fact. I know that there's a few people that are not going to be making it, or they're not going to be making it till later, which is absolutely fine. Just a little bit of word of warning, really. So it shouldn't be too busy. What have I done here? Who else is here? Another person's joined. If you want to say hi. No. Hi, Holly. How are you doing? I'm just trying to edit this video on my website for the moment. If I can't do it, I can't do it. I'll have to try again next week, but we're just waiting for some more people to join anyway. I'm really good, thanks. I've got some good news for everybody, which I'm really quite excited about. So I'll reveal that when. I mean, it's personal news. It's nothing to do with my services or all, but I just wanted to share it with you. So, right. Just give it a couple more minutes. Oh, good. I'm glad you've been looking forward to it. I've actually I've really missed it last week. You know, I don't like to cancel. I don't cancel on purpose because, you know, I know that people do rely on these readings a little bit, to be honest with you. And I enjoy doing them, and it's nice to do it as a, hi Emma, how are you doing? It's nice to do it as a group thing. You know, I'm normally reading for people independently, so it's nice sometimes just to have a bit more of an input. Yeah, it's not working on my website. Right, I'm gonna give up on this. So, you know, if you know that there's somebody that's tried to watch it on the website for whatever reason, I think I've put the wrong password key in, but I'm not going to do it now because everybody's waiting. So, got a few people in the room, so let me just get rid of it. Remove. Right, save changes. So that should be that. So sorry guys if you're trying to watch it from my website, but you'll have to just come back and watch it. I'll have to just post it or something. Right. So we've got about 7 people watching at the minute, so that's perfect. I've changed my setup a little bit. Hopefully you can see the cards now, and it doesn't look like I'm looking at the camera because I've actually got 2 screens. But if I hold my card up now, you can see it very, very clearly. It focuses and everything. I think it was the the light from my screen, basically. Hi, Sarah. It was the light from my screen, so this setup should be a bit better. I don't know if I might even change it so that you can see the spread, to be honest with you, but we'll just wing it and you can tell me, you guys tell me what you want to see. So tonight, I'm just going to make a bit of an announcement because I'm really happy. I want to share my news. I don't know if anybody knows this. It's been quite ongoing for a while, but my mum, who causes me nothing but problems because she's always trying to get on my readings and she can't, has had surgery in the last couple of days, which has been quite intense. She's actually had a double heart bypass, which is why I haven't been so active. I've had other things to deal with, and it's been really quite scary, to be honest, for the whole family. But I went to see her today, and she's up. She's a little trooper. She's about this big. And I just, I couldn't believe it when I seen her. She's had 7 kids and she's gone through this surgery. And honestly, when I tell you that I saw strength yesterday, I really, really just wanted to share that and put it out there because it really, she was so anxious and I just saw the fear in her. And I was saying, you can do this, you can do this. And I just wanted to share that with people because there's times where we feel like we can't do stuff and we really surprise ourselves. And in actual fact, it just showed me the strength that human beings can have, basically, even when they are fearful, even when they're scared and they don't know what's going to happen. And, it's been really intense. So I'm super proud of her. She's done so well. And I just wanted everybody to know, basically, credit where credit's due at the end of the day. it's not really something that anybody wants to put themselves through, but she did it. So I'm really, really happy about that. So this is why I wanted to do the reading, because I want, it's, big vibes, man. It's something that was very scary for everybody. And she's sat up now and, she's eating and she's doing everything that she needs to be doing. So that's great. And I know that she will like to, hi, Holly. Thank you, Emma. I know that she will be watching this when she's a little bit better and, she's sat there and she's recovering. So this is a big dedicated reading to my mum. So, right, that's out of the way. Also, as well, I did want to say, obviously, I see things. So when I actually walked in yesterday, I have been writing a lot of posts about Pluto in Capricorn, and for the past few months, this is what I've been writing about, and I really felt it yesterday. I really, really did. And I was it's in the ICU unit, and all I saw in that unit was angels. And I'm not talking about angels, ethereal angels. I'm talking about the nurses. They were absolutely, honestly, they were gliding around that room, and you could feel it. And I just, again, it's something that it was surreal, and I just wanted to share it because I think when we live in a world that's full of hardship and, things weigh us down and we're going through shit, basically, I just want people to know that there is always somebody else going through something just as, if not worse than you. So you really do need to keep your spirits high because you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who, the person next to you, what they're going through. A little bit of kindness goes a long way. So, which is another reason why I'm doing this reading tonight, because even though I'm going through it, I know that there is other people out there going through it too. So this is really what this channel's about. It's about supporting people and just acknowledging that, we've all got different devils on different levels. So with that out of the way, I'm going to go through the signs tonight. So they're a little bit different. We're going to do fire signs. So that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Then we're going to go through the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Yeah, not in that order. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then we've got the earth signs. So that's Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. They're not going to be very long readings, guys. I'm going to try to keep them to a minimum like I normally do. But I just thought it'd be, just a little bit different, basically, just to mix it up a little bit. I've got another deck here. So when I'm feeling called to, I might pull a few cards from this deck. This is a brilliant deck. In actual fact, it's double-sided. So any of these sides could come out. And to be quite honest, I don't really read with this deck, so I thought it'd be interesting. So let's start, shall we? Let me just start my... So yeah, I think I'm going to change my view a little bit, just so you don't have to look at my mug, really. And we're going to start on fire signs. So if anybody joins now, they know what sign it is. So let me just sort my little place out, and then you can actually see what... you don't just want to look at me, do you? So I have even cleaned my table for you tonight, guys. So look at you. Move that. I just thought it'd be better if you could actually see, you know, what I'm doing. I'll hold the cards up still so you can see them. Right, so let's do fire signs. What do you think about this view? Do you think it's a little bit better? I'm trying not to get my breasts in the way for you guys. So, fire signs. We've got Mars in Sagittarius. I have just rolled it, but it was Mars. I saw it. So, Mars in Sagittarius in the 8th house. So Mars is all about action. It's all about forward movement, you know, direction, using your will, projecting your power. Mars is the god of war. Okay, so this energy is really, really quite intense, and I can't see them there basically, but this energy is quite intense. There's an immaturity as well, because it rules Aries. Okay, so Mars is kind of like short and sweet, quick, decisive, out the door. So it's very, very action oriented. Sagittarius, it's interesting because we've got these two, you know, Mars and Sagittarius are both fire related, and Sagittarius is about far reaching. Okay, and again, you know, this is really giving me literally what I've just been saying about the fact that a little bit of strength, a little bit of resilience, a little bit of willpower can actually go a long way. And I think sometimes we really underestimate that. We underestimate ourselves, because especially Aries tend to be somewhat of a doubting Thomas. You know, they're the ones that reach for the skies, but they're not really sure, you know, if it's going to land. Sagittarian are the archers, you know, so again, you've got that far reaching. So this is all about energy being projected and being spreaded quite far and wide. You know, Sagittarius is about broadcasting. It's about, you know, getting the message out, basically, getting the message out and spreading it for people that need to heal, because Sagittarius, again, it's the wounded healer. So this is all about healing. This is all about, you know, really putting your intention into healing. And at the moment, I think as a nation, as mankind, we're all trying to do that every single day. We are tested when things come in that shake our strength, you know, that really kind of shake us up. That's just a test of our strength. And it's really spirit saying, like, you know, are you going to crumble? Are you going to crumble under this pressure? So that's really interesting. Now, in the 8th house, again, I'm a fire sign, so I'm finding this really interesting, but I'm a fire sign. And just so you know, guys, if you can share this as well, that would be perfect. I'm sure you can do it off your page somehow. 8th house is all about death. It's all about transformation, but it's all about rebirth as well. And it really is spreading the message of, you know, for everything that ends, something new is born in its place. For everything that kind of phases out, there is always a new beginning, because life is secular and it never stops. You know, when we feel very stuck throughout life, whatever it is that we're going through, it's very rarely life that holds us back. It's more us, you know, it's things that we need to work through, we need to process. You know, that kind of thing. So that's quite a powerful message to start the reading off with. 8th house is also the house of taxes as well. It's about insurances and things of a serious nature, you know, things that are all often quite emotional and also very intimate as well. So I think that sums up what I've just said quite nicely. So moving on, we're going to pull a card for, you know, the energy surrounding you at the moment, just a little bit of clarification, what, you know, the expected outcome could be, and just anything else that we can pull out of it, really. Hi, Vicky. Thanks for joining us. We're just going through the elements, and we're starting on fire, then we're going to do water, air, and then earth. So oh, they're coming out together, so I'll take them. Oh, this is quite nice, actually. So what's going on around you at the moment? We've got Page of Pentacles and we've got the Lovers. So brand new beginnings, absolutely. This is about a whole new world. The Page of Pentacles, you know, these are their students. These are the ones that are really trying to master life. These are the ones that are trying to manipulate their environment, okay? And really kind of learn it and understand it. You know, when it's an earth sign, it's very much related to our senses. So, you know, what we're tasting, what we're hearing, what we're feeling, what we're seeing, what we're smelling, everything is related to the senses. You know, that's really what navigates us. It's what gets us through life. Now, this page is the student, and the student is about learning, and it's about learning things brand new. You know, it's full of potential. Really, this is about the seed that exists within all of us. You know, the seed of truth, you know, the seed of who we are. Now, it's interesting because I've been reading a little bit about the seed, and you know, to put a little seed, a little tiny seed in your hand, it would probably not really look like much, you know, and it doesn't, because, well, it just doesn't, it's a seed. But in actual fact, that tiny seed really embodies the potential to become an oak tree, or a cherry tree, or an apple tree, or whatever kind of seed it is. So life is born from the seed. And that really is what this card's about. It's about a brand new beginning, and it's about a brand new beginning that you're very much grounded in, rooted in, and attached to. Now, the Lovers is showing up, so obviously this is talking about a relationship. You know, you could be in a relationship with someone, or you could be wanting to manifest a relationship, okay? Maybe you've been single for some time. You've just been replenishing and renewing your energy, basically, and just doing some growing, basically. The Page of Pentacles is all about, again, a renewal of an energy, a renewal of a cycle. Hi, Helen. Thanks for joining us. We're just starting off on fire. It's just the first reading, so you haven't missed anything. But again, I'm seeing like weaving as well. I'm seeing like weaving a tapestry, okay? And I really feel like somebody's... I'm getting like a bit of meditation, like a very, very meditative state, you know, even crafting. You may even have been crafting or crafting something. But again, what's crafting? It's manipulation of matter, really trying to pull things together. I feel like somebody, you know, this is really kind of like, you know, when you let's say you start to go to college, or you start to go to university or something like that, and there's a lot of planning to do. You know, you have to really put all your eggs in your basket, basically. You have to kind of go and get your supplies, and, you know, get the books and the materials and everything that you need, and make sure that your bag's packed the day. You know, so this is a very preparatory card. So a lot of you could be preparing for what's about to come into your life. I do feel, again, like you're entering into something new, because Earth is it's the world, you know, it's almost like a cycle's closed out. So it's about brand new beginnings, moving forward, and it's something that you've never done before as well. I think this is like a new reality, a new sense of reality, let's just say. The Lovers is coming out now. Again, the Lovers, again, indicative of a relationship, but it doesn't have to be. It could be unionship with the self. Maybe you've done a lot of growing. Maybe you've done a lot of inner work, you know, maybe you've done a lot of adapting. That's what I want to say, like adapting your environment. Maybe you've been cutting a lot of friends off. Maybe you've been changing your circles, because Page of Pentacles is very much about the environment. And again, it's secular, so it's almost like the circles that you're roaming, or the circles of people that you have around, or something like that. It's almost like a replenishment of that, you know. You're not roaming in the same herd, let's just say, anymore. So now I'm hearing like a bit of a black sheep as well. I'm seeing like a bit of a black sheep. It's almost like you're wanting to go off on your own path in pursuit of something. I feel like it's something that you feel has got a lot of potential, or it's something that you feel is going to bring you gains in the future. I don't think it's so much money oriented now. Hi, Helena. Thanks for joining us. I noticed that you liked the page earlier, so thank you for that. We're just on fire signs. We're just going to go through all the elements, and this is the first reading. So if you're not a fire sign, don't worry about it. Also, guys, just so you know, you can actually watch more than one reading if you know your moon sign. So, for example, my moon is Libra, so it's in the air. So I would watch the fire, and I'd also watch the air reading as well. But yeah, the Lovers is all about unity, and it's a really nice card. It's a beautiful card, actually. It's the number 6, and the number 6 is all about you know, your day-to-day routines, and it's the 6th house, day-to-day routines and your activities. And like I said, it's like the people that you roam in, and the people that you speak to on a daily basis, you know, what you're eating for your breakfast, what you're eating for your tea, you know, are you following a diet? Are you following some type of schedule? Because I am seeing some type of like physical activity as well in the bedroom, let's just say, but also not, you know. This is about kind of like, I'm seeing like somebody is working towards improving the physique as well. So again, like I said, diet's something like a diet, or something like, I feel like someone's really been working on their insecurities as well, okay? And it may be because you've met somebody recently. It doesn't have to be the case. Like I said, it's a general reading, so just take what resonates. But someone could have really been working on their physique. They could be looking a lot better now. You know, maybe you've dropped a few pounds or something like that. It's very, very earthy, and it's very, very grounding. It's grounding you. Yeah, whatever is going on is grounding you. But again, if it's a relationship, this relationship is something like you've never experienced before. It's almost like it's a whole new world. It's a whole new vibe. It's a whole new, you know, I do feel like there's a little bit of complexity to this as well, to be quite honest with you. You might even be of different origin. different ethnicity. What's that? I don't know what I am. I'm Taurus, but that's all I know. So you'll be a Taurus sun sign, Helen. Do you know what time you were born? It doesn't matter if you don't, but you'll be a Taurus sun sign, but you'd have to do a birth chart reading to find out what all your other placements are. And I do offer them. You can go on my website. So yeah, the Lovers is a really kind of intense energy as well, because it's a major. So there is a lot of harmony, there's a lot of unity, there's a lot of fluidity. It's ruled by Gemini, okay? So this could even be children. So there could be children involved in this dynamic. You know, this person could have a child, you could have children. You may just be feeling a lot more bonded and closer to your child, you know, something along those lines. But it's developing and it's growing and it's flourishing. So I do feel like there's a flourishing of a relationship, or is there flourishing of a connection to some degree. So the reason why I'm saying relationship is because we've got this Knight of Cups and this Two of Swords. Now this is interesting because the Knight of Cups, I love this card, and you can see this is like, you know, riding in on his white stallion to come and save the day, and he's got his roses, and you know, this is like rose petals on the bed, and this is basically kind of very dreamy. This is like the dream guy. So I am somebody for a while. I feel like you may have even been trying to manifest this person with these cards. It's almost like you've really been trying to get into that deep meditative state, calling them in spiritually. So this may be your soulmate, actually. Maybe you view this person as your soulmate. Maybe you've done a lot of growing with this person, because I am seeing that something has developed, like a deep bond and a deep connection. And if you see, this is the student, this represents a child-like energy, or at least an immaturity, whereas this woman, her hair's really, it's almost like she's developed and she's bloomed and she's blossomed. So I feel like something has grown, some type of connection that's really grounding you. This is somebody that you've had your eye on for a while, okay? It's almost a little bit like it's too good to be true. However, we've got this Two of Swords showing up. Now, this Two of Swords, you can see it's about being henpecked. So this is about being trying to make a decision. You know, this is about even a sense of avoidance. So you may even be avoiding this person somewhat at the moment, or you may be in separation. But what I'm seeing is this person. Hi, Kelly. Oh, bless you. Thanks for joining. This person may be, you know, what am I trying to say here? I feel like, all right, okay, that's it. So maybe you're in two minds about this person, and we'll have a look as to why, because it's not showing me. I haven't done too much digging, but it's almost like, yeah, there's like this split, you know, this split, like do I, don't I, do I, don't I, and it's kind of henpecking you. But there is, it's almost like you're not seeing something about this person. Now, one thing I will say is, I don't know if this is this light that's doing this, but I don't know if it is. I think it just might be where I'm sat, you know. Let me just see if I can get a bit of, oh no, that's worse, isn't it? I will get it right one day, guys. Yeah, I think it's just, we're just gonna have to roll with it anyway. So yeah, this person, it's almost, I'm feeling like a little bit, is it too good to be true kind of energy. There's a very strong emotional connection. There's a very strong pull towards this person. I do feel like this person has the ability, maybe even to kind of, I'm seeing like a bit of a puppet on a string. It's almost like you'd do anything for this person, but even if it hurts you, even if it wounds you, because this is someone who's wandering through a desert, you know, it's dry. She's got dry mouth. She's dry. She's boiling. She's hot. There's a lot of scarring on this person. If you actually can see in the card, you know, this is kind of like self-harm, right? So I'm seeing like this person, it may be somebody that you really are attracted to, you know, this is like your dream guy. This is the person that you probably, if you've met this person, it's like you thought this was going to be your forever person, completely swept you off your feet, completely, you know, everything about them, right? But I feel like there's a tendency to manipulate somewhat as well. Mind games I'm getting, but just really kind of, this is someone who's a very, very sweet talker, okay? But he is very wishy-washy because it's a water sign. So you could really be dealing with a Pisces, because it's mutable water. Pisces are quite slippery, you know, they're quite hard to grasp, let's just say, very mysterious. There is a mysteriousness to this person. Maybe this person kind of plays the cards close to the chest, or there's just something that's irking you. You can't quite figure it out. And I do feel like it's almost like you keep going back to, it's almost like, you know, when you touch fire and it burns, but you keep doing it. And it's almost like you're realizing that this is actually a form of self-harm, because maybe you're getting to a point where you feel like this person isn't going to deliver. It's almost like this relationship, this deep spiritual connection, this deep spiritual bond that the two of you share that's really grounding, maybe somewhat of a delusion, because again, this is very ethereal. This energy is very, very astral. It's not grounded in reality. You are, the situation has the potential to be, but it's almost like, again, this astral, you know, this is about being in your head. This is about being henpecked and really kind of not knowing where you're going. If you imagine that you're this girl in this desert, there is no signposts. There's no signposts. There's nobody there leading the way. It's almost like wandering in the dark, but being pecked at the same time, which could probably be quite painful, you know, little tiny pecks. So maybe they're not actually doing anything out and out abusive. Let's just say it's not something where you could probably warrant and say, do you know what? No, I'm not dealing with you anymore. So maybe that's why it's a bit confusing. Maybe it's just like, let's say, for example, you might say to this person, I really like you, or I really love you, or something along them lines, and this person doesn't say it back. But they act like they do. So it's almost like, well, do you or don't you? And and every time you say it, it just cuts a little bit. This is not like a deep thing, but it's almost like, and you're realizing that this is a form of self-harm. So you need to separate, basically. I mean, you know, you do what you want at the end of the day, but that's really what I'm seeing in these cards. This is someone who comes marching in and I feel like they promise you the world, or it's almost like they really get your hopes up or something along them lines. And I do feel like there is a very, very deep level of intimacy that the two of you share. But this person is very, very detached, because now he's showing up as this King of Swords. I don't think this is your energy. I think you are very nurturing, okay? Because this is the one that's doing the henpecking. You know, look at him. That bird it's at his command. You know, it's sat there. It's waiting for him to, you know, give the orders and say, you know, you need to do this, you need to do that. So this is someone who is very, I feel like this is someone who kind of projects, maybe even projects their own ideology onto you, or says, you know, you are this and you are that. And you're like, hang on a minute, it's coming out of your mouth. It's not coming out of mine. That ain't come out of my head. I ain't said that, you've said that. So then, you know, again, there could be this very contradictory nature to this person. 1 minute is very, very loving, very kind, very coming in and saying all the sweet things. And it's almost like, God, you're perfect. And then he goes really, really cold. And then it's quite brutal, actually. It's quite brutal. So this is where this sense of self-harm is coming in, because it's like, wow, like what? And he's the one that yields the sword, you know. Look, he's got it in his hands. So it's almost like, even when you try to block this person out, even when you try to defend yourself, or you maybe try to stand up for yourself, and I'm talking about communication now, I'm not talking about physical abuse. You know, this person will throw a dagger, or they'll cut you off, or they'll, you know, something along them lines. And it's like, this is getting a bit too much now. Like, it's really, really affecting me on a mental plane. So you've got these contradictory thoughts going through your head. Now, one thing I will say, what's standing out to me is this owl. Okay, so this is someone who could be, like I said, there is this air of mystery with this person. Is very, very quiet, very aloof. This is the thing, very aloof. I do think that this is someone that's very attractive, though, because I am seeing like really like God-given like looks. I think that's it. There's very much a physical attraction there. Again, with you, especially with this Page of Pentacles, you know, this is someone who has to be somewhat attracted to whatever it is that they're moving towards. Okay, this is someone that doesn't really have that much money, let's just say, right, as an example, Page of Pentacles. But it's almost like, hi Janice, I don't do individual cards, I'm reading for the elements, and we're just starting on fire, so we're going to go through each element. I do personal readings, but they're on my website, you have to book them. So yeah, so this is someone who really wants to make sure that they put their coins where they are going to be well invested, basically. This is someone who doesn't squander, they preserve. This is someone who is quite reserved as well, and a bit reserved with their energy. Okay, let's just say they want to make sure that whatever it is that they're putting their energy into, they yield some type of benefit from it, because that's really what's going to take them to that next place, and that next place, and that next place. So, you know, wise investments, I'm hearing. But again, it's almost like I'm also seeing something to do with breadcrumbs again. I've been getting this quite a lot, but it's almost like I feel like this person might offer you the world, but what they actually give you is a breadcrumb. You know, it's like a little tiny piece of their world, you know, because I am seeing the world in this, and it's almost like that you actually savor that. You actually savor that, and it's almost like, I feel like this is someone's world. Whoever this person is, they have this tendency to complicate things. And whatever it is that they're feeding you, it's almost like it's a very complicated situation. But I feel like the reason why they do that is so that they can keep a sense of distance. And it's almost like you become really accepting of it, because you're like, oh my God, they're going through a lot right now. The life, you know, it's very complicated or it's very complex. So it really keeps you stuck, and it keeps you rooted, and it keeps you grounded. In reality, you can't go anywhere, because it's almost like you're patiently waiting for this person to say, oh, it's all sorted now, it's done. And that just isn't coming. So I am seeing something to do with that as well. I do feel like this person does have romantic feelings towards you, okay? So I'm not going to kind of begrudge them that. I do feel like they do have that, but I also feel like this is someone who is very, very stuck in the head. This is someone who can get into a very deep place when it comes to their mind. It's a very serious thinker. Maybe tries to work everything out before they've got all the facts of a situation, something along them lines. So, you know, they may spend long periods in isolation, not really, you know, not really communicating. And it's almost like they're trying to gather their thoughts, okay? But that you know, that detachment, let's just say that detachment is causing you a lot of pain and a lot of heartache, and you know, you maybe just feeling like you're not sure if you want to continue with this anymore. I did say that I was going to clarify this Two of Swords. What's this Two of Swords? Janice, that's really awful, you know, that that's the case. But I have just told you that I don't pull cards on a reading, so you don't get special treatment, unfortunately. The Moon. Okay, again, that mysteriousness, that mystery. I'm going to pull another because I have to. But, you know, there is an illusion. There is some type of illusion here. There's some type of deception. I'm not saying that it's out and out deception, but it's almost like, you know, something's not very clear. The High Priestess ruled by the Moon. Something is not. This is mad. Seven of Wands, right. The Moon, this is Cancer energy, so you could be dealing with a Cancer, okay? The High Priestess is ruled by Pisces, so definite water sign I'd say that you're dealing with. However, this is a water sign that's very, very detached. This is someone that it goes very, very deep with their emotions and very into it, you know, I'm saying very a lot, into a meditative state. You know, it's almost like a trance-like state, okay? This person could be quite telepathic as well, I'm getting. But again, it's all very astral. It's all going on up here in the mind. So this is someone who is very, very switched on when it comes to their mental. Seven of Wands really talks about putting themselves first. Okay, so there could be a tendency to want to put themselves first. There could be a tendency to reject suitors. You know, this may be somebody who gets themselves involved in a lot of situations, but when it comes to the point of commitment, they maybe shun, or they shut out, or they shut down, something like that, because there's this protective bubble around this person, if you can see. You know, and all of these wands, if you think of these wands about people saying, you know, it's like a will that's being projected, you know, let's get together or let's do this, or something that's very suggestive because it's phallic. This person's saying, no, sorry, I can't, it's all for me. So you could be dealing with a bit of a player here. This is what this mystery is about. I maybe think that this person might not just be doing this with you. I feel like this is somebody that is quite comfortable approaching people and starting shit. You know, this is someone who knows what to say, who knows what people want to hear. Like I said, a bit of a sweet talker, but when things start to get a little bit more serious, you know, when the kings start coming out, it's like, whoa, detach. You know, and then the start, it's almost like this is someone who really tries to create, their imagination is very intensely creative. So it's almost like, what am I trying to say? This might be somebody who interacts with their environment as a means to use that internally to create this inner world inside of them that's very rich of experience. Now, I know that was a bit of a mouthful, but that's kind of what I'm getting. So the reality of a situation is very secondary to this person. They're very much concerned more with their mental world, their mental realm, and what they can add to it and what they can take from reality. So I'm going to pull some more of these cards. Some of these, this is from my own deck. I use this one quite often. Does that resonate with anybody? Any fire signs that I'm reading for? Resonates with me, interestingly enough. Cat got your tongue. See, this is them. They don't know what to say. You might have put it on. You might have put some truth on this person's toes. You know, you might have said to him like, "Look," and tried to establish something, something quite solid and tangible and stable in reality. And it's almost like this is this person. Cat got your tongue. They've removed themselves. I do feel like there's this definite sense of distance, and it's really kind of winding you up. I'm getting. You're very conflicted. It's almost like you might even be saying to yourself, like, what have I done wrong? Because one minute everything was absolutely fine. I thought that we had this deep bond and whatever else. And the next minute you're gone. But I am also picking up something about childhood as well and suppressed memories with these two cards. You know, these two cards are very much about getting lost in thought and emotion. You know, I'm really going deep and really trying to do that shadow work. I'm seeing a lot of shadow work. And maybe that's why this person's saying, look, I'm not ready to be in a commitment. I'm not ready to settle down. I'm not ready. Because, you know, fire is very, very rarely settled, is it? It's active. So it's almost like that's what they're saying. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's not really fair. I'm just seeing like there's a bit of equality where this person is, and which is the Queen of Swords is what he's known for. Because he doesn't realise that this is, and I'm saying he, it could be a she, but they don't realise that this is actually causing a lot of damage. You know, and I'm hearing like collateral damage, literal collateral damage. Need space to think. I need space to think. This is why this person disappears. I feel like this situation might be a little bit too intense for this person. Now, with this reading here, right, this is, you know, before when I did the astro reading, now what I'm seeing is, because this was on Mars, this is someone whose passions, okay, have extended way beyond what they probably expected them to. This is someone whose passions have gone, they've just shot out the park, boom, and the 8th house is intensity. You know, this is the house that rules things of an intense nature, sexual intimacy, you know, the orgasm, if you want to put it that way. Things like wills, insurance policies, mortgages, like there's a seriousness to it. So this is not like light-hearted for this person. This person is probably getting a little bit, you know, they're getting a little bit shook, let's just say. Right, number 2. I act as if I don't see you to protect myself. So again, this is very much about, I feel like this person's got a lot to account for of their past. They've got a lot of healing to do. They've got a very, you know, a lot of digging to do with regards to maybe trauma that they've experienced growing up. And if they don't want it to affect the relationship, I'm leaving. So this could be you or this could be the other person. But I definitely think that this situation, it's just, you know, it's intense. I don't think this could be you. Like I said, it can go both ways, but it's intense. So someone's like, do you know what? I'm out the door. I'm leaving. I can't deal with it. And I actually do think that there's a little bit of a vibe of that of both of you. This is someone who's really distant. You know, this is someone who's kind of detached themselves. And I feel like, you know, with your energy, it's almost like you're ready to start brand new because you're realizing that this is just not getting you anywhere. You're going around in circles with this person. So unless they're able to come to you with the truth, which I don't feel like they are, they could potentially in the future, because we've got this sword that's pointing, you know, from my perspective here, it's almost like to the future. So maybe they might come back around in the future, but as it stands, I feel like this person is very much rooted in their current position at the moment, especially in regards to the shadow work that they need to do. Because, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy when you're healing and you're having to dig deep like that. So that was for the fire signs. Hopefully that resonated for somebody. Let me know if it does. I'm just going to put these cards back. I think I'm just going to stick to the, do you know what, actually, let's mix it up. Let's use the other deck. I might just pull this for clarification. Right, let's change the banner. So like I said, hopefully that resonated for somebody. Somebody could text something from that. In actual fact, I actually resonated with that reading quite a lot. So, right, water signs. How many water signs have we got here, guys? Let me know. Right, so water, we have got South Node in Aquarius in the 11th house, okay? South Node is all about, Sarah, you're a what sign? South Node is all about moving away, okay? So this is called the tail of the dragon. And I won't go too far into it, but it's basically a shadow of the moon, I believe, if I'm correct. I think I am. And it's the dragon in the sky is called Rahu and Ketu, and this is Ketu. So this is kind of like the shadow. It's the tail end of the dragon. It's basically the part that you don't want to be on as the dragon's flying through the sky. It represents insecurities. It represents the things that we need to let go of, and it represents our comfortabilities. Okay, so there's a need here to really kind of move away from. I'm getting social circles. Okay, social circles. Send me a friend request for your reading. Janice, I'll speak to you once the reading's over. I'll send you a private message, okay? So yeah, so we've got this South Node, and it's to do with friendship groups. Now, Aquarius is the natural ruler of the 11th house, and the 11th house is the house of associates, you know, people that we associate with, groups, friends, basically, group activity, but also hopes, wishes, dreams, and aspirations. Now, obviously, everybody enjoys having friends. Everybody enjoys being around friends, but it's almost like sometimes I think that we forget that friends can actually be quite restrictive, because Aquarius is also ruled by Saturn. It's Uranus, which represents freedom, okay, and freedom of expression, let's just say, but it's co-ruled with Saturn, and Saturn is restrictive. So with this South Node, it's telling me that there may be like some type of restrictive friendship or restricted group. Maybe you're not able to go out and make friends because your current friends get jealous. Maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe you need to get away from a particular society that you're a part of, or a membership, or, you know, something along those lines where you're part of some type of wider community. But you may be feeling like you want to detach from that a little bit, or you want to kind of go off on your own path, really, and just kind of explore and see and do things for yourself. Aquarius rules the top of the heavens, so there may be something that you're thinking about quite seriously. It may be something that you're wanting to pursue, but in order for you to do that, you need to detach yourself somewhat. 11 is also an angel number, so you could be feeling guided to move away from a particular group of people, or again, like I said, this could be, let's say, for example, on a weekend you go running with a group of people, but it's almost like, even though you enjoy running, you've noticed that these group of people can be quite catty, or they can be quite, you know, bitchy, or something like that, and you're saying, do you know what, I need to get away. I think I'm just going to go running on my own from now on, you know, that kind of thing. So there's this element of detachment. Again, we are getting Aquarius coming up. So that's interesting. So I'm going to pull some of these cards. Now, these cards are just going to fall as they are, because they've got a front and a back, basically. So I'm going to take that. 10 of Swords, Ruin, Queen of Wands, okay. Yeah, I've got this eclipse that's really standing out. That's funny, Emma. I will find you. Again, you've got the Page of Pentacles. Okay. I'm going to keep that one there. Right. So, what's going on for you at the moment? 10 of Swords. Now, this is interesting, right? Because it's got two sides. But this is the side that came out. This is the side I'm going to interpret. So if you can see, this is like somebody who's really taken a good hard look at the shit that they've been through. Now, this is somebody who was at one point wearing this heavy armor, and look at all the knives that have been driven through it. And it's almost like he's looking at it and he's saying, wow, I have really been through the mill. This is the 10, you know, this is the 10 of Swords. This is like a painful ending, a painful cycle that's closing out. This is about, you know, a situation that you probably didn't even want to come to an end, but circumstances dictated, okay? And it's not been easy at all. Now, what's interesting is I'm seeing that eclipse. Okay, so this could have been something that's been going on since the eclipse season, which was back in end of March, beginning of April. But again, it's just like I'm just seeing like casting a shadow. Okay, so a shadow's being cast over your sense of optimism, or it's almost like you're seeing this situation as like this is done. Like, how the hell am I going to put that suit back on? I'm not even. I feel like you've outgrown your skin. Let's just say somebody's outgrown a skin or something like that, and they've said like, I cannot get back into it even if I tried. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like this situation's done now. Like I couldn't even do that if I tried. So a situation is closing out. Now we've got the Queen of Wands showing up. This is about stepping into your personal power. The Queen of Wands is the most charismatic, magnetic, powerful force, okay, that is contained within. Every time a queen shows up in a reading, it represents the inner self, okay? Women are symbolic of the moon, okay, and the moon is our inner psyche. That's what it is. And this is a very powerful person. This is someone who is really kind of waking up to their majestic qualities, let's just say. She's seated on that throne and she is one with nature. You know, that throne is made from wood and she's the fire. It's almost like this is the fire that keeps you know, you might be the type of person to keep other people warm. You might be the type of person to really provide that sense of security for people. It's almost like you're looking and saying, yeah, but what have I got back from that? What good has it done me? You know, so there is a very, very reflective, meditative, again, I'm just getting this meditative state going on with this eclipse. And, you know, she's got her eyes shut, if you can see, she's going really deep into trance. And again, it's almost like trying to pull that power from somewhere, from nature, you know, from her God-given gifts, basically, because this woman, she is relentless. She really is. This, in actual fact, is really reminding me of my mum. She's not a water sign, but this is what I saw yesterday. And it was like, wow, how have you done that? It's just magic. This woman is pure magic. This is really an Aries. Aries are usually the chosen ones, the blessed ones, because if you understand astrology, you'd understand why I'm saying that. But this really is, again, that power, that sense of force, that directed will, that, you know, I'm going to do this. Like, there is no I can't about it, right? That's basically what's showing up here. I feel like you're really kind of honing your skills and you're really kind of becoming quite a force to be reckoned with, let's just say. Now, we've got this Page of Pentacles showing up again, but it's a little bit different because this is someone who is really kind of looking through that coin and saying, where can this take me? Where can this newfound sense of power take me? This cornucopia symbolizes the harvest and kind of gifts and things like that. So I am picking up Capricorn energy. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn. But really what it's about is material wealth, first and foremost, but also about feeling full and feeling enough, feeling like you have a sense of value, basically. This is someone who really wants to step into that world and say, look, I know what my worth is, basically. And again, it's brand new because this page is someone, you know, maybe you're learning a new skill, maybe you're learning a new task, maybe you're learning, you know, kind of what life's really about now at the phase of life that you're in, because we never actually lose this page. These pages never leave us. We don't grow up. You know, you might be told that you age. There's no such thing as age. It's bollocks. You grow outward and you become callous. So that little child inside you always stays soft and supple. You don't ever separate. You just grow new layers of skin and you mature and you age until eventually your skin becomes that dry on the outside that you end up wrinkly, a little bit like an oyster. Same principle, because that's what we are. So it's almost like really trying to get back in touch with that inner child as well and saying, look, what did I used to be about? You know, what did I used to like to do? And it's almost like you're trying to set out on this brand new path and really try to connect with your environment and connect with the world around you. I am looking at the rose as well on the back. So this is really telling me that you're being led by, the rose really is symbolic of beauty, first and foremost, but also struggle, because it's not an easy thing to grow a rose. Anyone that's tried to grow a rose bush will bloody know this. But, you know, it's something that takes time to blossom and bloom. And maybe you've just got to a point in your life now where that inner child is really being activated. It's like, it's taken me a long way. You know, you've dug through a lot of dirt to get to this seed again. I've done a lot of digging, dig. It's almost like maybe you've unearthed a part of yourself that you actually even forgot existed. And now that you've found that part of yourself, you're saying, right, this is amazing. You know, how can I channel it? How can I use it? How can I project it out into the world as a means to express myself? Because this Queen of Wands is very purpose driven. You know, she's usually a boss. This is somebody who is a boss. You don't mess with the Queen of Wands, basically. So that's really interesting. So something is definitely closing out. I feel like, again, like I said, this is somebody that's going on a bit of a journey here. In order to find fulfillment. Nightmare growing a plant. Tell me about it. I've got this one behind me, and you know, it's alive, it's there, but I just want a couple of extra leaves. It's not coming. But yeah, definitely, you know, if you neglect something for long enough, all that hard work that you've actually done in the past will just die away. It will fade out. You know, it doesn't stay there. It's not a painting until you can come back to it later and finish it. You know, when it's something that's living and dynamic, you need to tend the garden. You have to. Otherwise, what happens? It wilts, it dies, and then we have to start all over again. And this is really the process of healing. You know, you can't just say, oh my gosh, you know, I've been there once and now I'm fixed and I'm aided and I'm healed. That's not how it works. It's a continuous process. You've got to put the work in. And I feel like this is somebody who is really ready to put the work in. There is a lot of obstacles that you need to overcome. I see like you're looking out into the future, but it's almost like saying, right, I know where I need to go and I know what I need to do. But all these mountains are representative of obstacles to overcome. Okay. Some of them being quite small, some of them not so small. There's a lot of confusion around this. Maybe you're not very clear on how you're going to do it yet, but you just know that it's there and that's where your focus is and that's where you're going. Okay. There's some anxiety around this. Okay, there's some anxiety, some sleepless nights, because the nines really represent divinity. Let's just say they're Virgo energy. So it's very it's ruled by the Hermit. Okay, and if you imagine that when you are, you know, maybe feeling a bit down, maybe feeling a bit depressed, you know, you don't really want to talk to people. You pull back on your energy and you get really quiet and you'll sit with your thoughts. And I feel like there's been a lot of that going on. You've been sat with your thoughts and it's almost like they're haunting you. I don't feel like they've been aiding you. I feel like they've been haunting you. It's almost like you've trapped yourself in some type of a mental prison. It is a bit of a nightmare. Let's just say that's, you know, nightmare growing plants. And it's almost like you're not getting enough sun. So, you know, if you are somebody that, I feel like melatonin could help as well. Maybe you're getting a little bit depressed because you're not getting enough sun, or you're not getting out as much as you probably should be getting out. Something like that. I just feel like maybe a bit of melatonin would probably be good for you. But yeah, this is stressful. Something's ending. Something is ending for you, absolutely. But it's requiring a lot of personal power for you to really kind of project yourself into the future. I feel like that's what you're doing. You're trying to project yourself and saying, right, in so many months or in so many years this is not going to be a case. But at the minute, you're really looking over these obstacles and really trying to think, like, how am I going to, and it's relentless, you know, it's really kind of weighing heavy. One thing I will mention is that these swords are lit up, okay, and it's almost making it feel like it's a bit of a delusion, a self-deluded type of energy, or these are things that you're making up in your head that are not actually even true, you know. So again, there is this feeling of this self-entrapment because he's got his feet firmly planted on the ground. You know, this is somebody who is seated in his power, let's just say, but he's not really choosing to use that power in a useful way. You know, he's not directing it. On the other side, you know, this is really what you want to be looking at. This is someone who's saying, look, no matter what's going on with me, I'm looking to the future and I can see the horizon and I can see that there's a brighter day coming. I'm just not there yet. Whereas this person's just not, you know, he's just sat in it. So I do kind of feel like there's a bit of a message in there for you as well. So maybe just try to heighten that vibration just a little bit and direct those thoughts in a more positive manner. Now we've got, finishing up this reading and tying it up, we've got this King of Wands. Now this is a very, we've got a match here. So we could be speaking about a relationship now as well. Again, it's a general reading, but this is Leo energy. Okay, Leo energy. This is someone who is very domineering. This is someone who is a leader. This is someone who likes to have his ego stroked. And this is someone who is And you know, I really want to say, and I don't usually get this with the King of Wands, but I feel like this is someone who's a bit of a pussycat. So they might play the part, they might play the role, but it's almost like they're internally they are somewhat of a pussycat, right? However, because it's this side of the card, there is this deception, because if you can see, there's a big snake in the background being wrapped around that tree. So I feel like somebody's really, I'm feeling like, do you know what? It almost feels like spell casting, or someone who is really trying to, I'm getting like a sense of suffocation, but I'm also seeing like this is someone who is really wrapped up in your worldly affairs. You know, this is someone who is projecting into your life, and it's almost like they're doing it purposefully, or there is like this deception, but it's kind of huge. You know, this is not a little thing. This is someone who's got the back. Okay, so when you look at a card like this, it's almost like this energy is being projected outward. This is someone who is sat. Again, it's very much, even though these are fire signs cards, it's almost like reality. This is something that's happening in your everyday reality. This is something that's really apparent in your life. It's taken a lot for you to really just ignore, you know, and I'm just, do you know what I mean? Go within and try to overcome and that kind of thing. Whereas this person, again, when somebody's got the back to you on a card, there's usually deception. This is someone who is not showing their true colors or their true self. It's almost like there is this, you know, very, very kind of, what's the word? It's not even like being in the shadows. This is just someone who is not showing their best self. They're not willing to be upfront, let's just say. It's giving me very Adam and Eve vibes, but I am also getting like, there is like a potency, someone with a very potent spirit or a very potent soul. Just cancelled a bottom. Sorry, I'm just cancelled a bottom because I just can't do it. You know that's it. Oh, funny. I didn't receive that comment, Sarah. But yeah, and also I mean I'm getting again, there's something to do with nighttime, okay, in these cards. Something's gonna happen through the night, or I'm getting like a very dark, it's not dark as in like somebody is dark, but I am just getting like there's a dark energy attached to this reading and a bit of a deception. So things that you're not really seeing, or things that are happening in the shadows, or, you know, things like that. And it's almost like you're looking out for these signs, but I feel like there may be a tendency to overanalyze maybe, or overthink a situation. Maybe you're making stuff up in your mind that's not actually true. Because maybe you're viewing someone who's very, very snaky, you know, very deceptive, whoever this person is has a very strong sense of persuasion, okay? They're able to, I'm seeing like this is someone with a forked tongue, or someone that has the ability to play both sides of the fence. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, this is someone who is playing both sides of the fence. Maybe that's why you're feeling like you need to get away from them, because this bottom card here, and I'll move on to the next deck, but we've got the Queen of Pentacles here. The Queen of Pentacles is someone who knows their worth, okay? This is not somebody who fights to prove themselves. You know, they are very comfortable where they are. They're very comfortable with who they are. You know, if you look at the energies of the cards, this is not a card of darkness and deception. This is a card of nurturing, nourishing, kindness, compassion. This is usually the Queen that steps in for Mother Nature. You know, that kind of vibe. She's always looking after people, and she's a bit Empress-like, basically. Very giving, very, very, but I feel like this is someone who does way too much for very little in return. So maybe you do a lot for your friends, again, because I'm just tying it back to the astrology reading, but it's almost like you do a lot for the people in your environment, but in actual fact, what do they do for you? Because when you actually go inwards, hi girl, wake up, thanks for joining us again, God bless you, it's nice to see you. I haven't been around for a couple of weeks, we're just on water now, and then we're doing air and earth next. Fire sign is already done. But when it's almost like when you get really deep, when you go into that meditative state, it's almost like you are very much alone, you know, and your environment is very much, there's a shelteredness around you, okay? So I am going to move on to these cards because these readings will go on forever if I let them. I hope that resonated for somebody as well. See, God bless this mess. We've got God bless this mess. Okay, so this is basically like saying, you know, Jesus, take the wheel. God bless this mess. Like, I just don't know what to do anymore. So I'm giving it up to the divine, which really is what this Queen of Wands does. You know, she has a lot of faith, a high faith in the divine. You know, she's deeply connected to the divine. And then we've got toxic behavior. So maybe, again, you know, this is relating back to that association. Let's just say there's a lot of toxicity there. Now, I just want to say toxic behavior doesn't necessarily have to mean somebody is outwardly going out and out to be toxic. Okay, toxic behavior can also stem from somebody who is not healed, because, you know, healing is very much connected to the moon. The moon's very much connected to Mercury. Mercury in the blood is actually very toxic. So, you know, it's not always, you know, this person's toxic because they choose to be. This person could be toxic because they are unhealed, and there's a lot of work that they need to do in order for that to phase out, you know. Again, I am just seeing like this thing of, I just feel like there's a little bit of a distrust somewhere. Because this snake, it's almost like it's rising, and you can feel it. It's like rising, and I feel like there may be this tendency to try and push it back down and suppress it. It's taken a lot for you to do this, actually. So you're getting to a point where maybe you're thinking about walking away and just leaving it, you know, and just finding a sense of peace and calm and contentment within your own world. We've got arousal, just as I said, that rising Kundalini. Something is arousing. Something is like you know, now my screen you can't see. It's getting darker in here now, but it's like this arousal is very much symbolic of this snake. It's like there's something stirring, something going on. Okay, it's causing you to think a lot. It's causing you to think a lot about your situation, actually. Something to do again with the sky. Okay, the sky. And just spirituality, like a deep spirituality as well. I'm leaving. See, you know, again, that South Node, this is about leaving a situation and heading out and finding something. You know, what I'm looking at here is this page who's, you know, this, sorry about this light, guys. It is literally just my screen. I can't do anything about it. But I'm seeing this queen that's really sat in her throne. Okay, this is, I'm just trying to focus. Yeah, she's sat in her throne, she's sat in her environment, she's really quite comfortable. Like, that looks like a nice place to be. She ain't moving anytime soon, let's put it that way. But then we have this page. So it's almost like, you know, this is the beginning and this is the end. This is what you're going after, and this is the security of it. So it's almost like saying, like, this is what I need to do for me, and this is what I can imagine to happen and to come from it. This is about developing a sense of substance. Now, if you can see, that small rose on the back of the page has actually turned into a whole outfit, a whole dress of roses. So, you know, there's a lot of kind of flourishing that's taking place. A lot of flourishing, a lot of development. And this is someone who is, again, very substantial, very, you know, this is someone who is wealthy, but not wealthy possibly even in money. This could be wealth as in, you know, there's a lot of value in this person. People place a lot of trust in this person, basically. So that's your reading, water signs. Hopefully you could take something from that. I am learning a new deck at the moment, and it's brilliant. I don't know it at the moment. You know, I haven't worked with it enough, basically, to truly grasp it. But it's very complex and it's very rich. Oh, thank you, Sarah. It's very, yeah, I've just got the Three of Swords now, you know, popping out. Sorry, I just needed to show this. The Three of Swords, but it's almost like the damage is already being done. And again, it's very symbolic of that ending that we looked at, you know, that armor, that suit that we're stepping out of. You know, this is kind of the same thing. But this is, you know, look at that. That's like a knife through the heart. Do you know what I mean? And this is about, right, really seeing it for what it is. It's like there's a little bit of hope there, you know, with this little flower that's blossoming. But, you know, something very painful, something very, I feel like it's like something that won't disappear as well, is what I'm hearing. So Next reading. So who we got next? Air signs. And again, like I said, if you know your moon sign, don't just stick to one reading. We fight on, we do. We absolutely do. What other choice do we have, Sarah? We're not the type to just roll over, are we? Right, air signs. I'll use this deck for you, air signs. Do you know what, actually? Let's get a new one. We'll do a different one for each sign, shall we? And I will use this one. In fact, I'll use decks that I haven't used before. Shall I do that? Okay, so this is for you, air signs. Oh, we've got some shooting out already. 8 of water, okay. Leaving a situation behind, not wanting to deal with it anymore. You've had enough. I feel like you're heading off on a brand new path. You're wanting to find something that's more fulfilling, okay. I feel like a situation has been played out. I feel like you may feel like you're going round in circles. You might not be feeling like it's fulfilling you in the same way that it did. This card usually is quite symbolic of the end of a relationship, okay. This is a show of strength and it's emotional strength. Now I'm going to do your astrology first, so bear that in mind what I've just said. 11th house, then we've got the sign of Cancer, Neptune in Cancer. So Neptune, okay, Neptune is the planet of delusions, lies, spirituality, mysticism. It's very elusive, Neptune, and in actual fact, it's a very hard planet to even try to describe. But it rules things like fog, it rules things like gases, anesthesia, things like that are a bit like, well, there's confusion, drugs, substances, things of that nature. In the sign of Cancer, you know, Cancer being a water sign, this could be symbolic of alcohol, wanting to maybe walk away from some type of addiction, because I've got the 8 of water here. Now, the 8 of water, 8s are ecliptic, you know, they don't end, they go on and on and on, and there's a lot of ups and downs and ebbs and flows. And in the sign of water, well, obviously, you know, if we're thinking of substances, this could be alcoholism, because this isn't the traditional card. You know, the design of this card, it usually depicts 8 cups and somebody walking away and turning the back. So I am feeling like somebody maybe needing to put the drink down, walk away from it. You know, I do feel like there is, again, it's something to do with friends, because this 11th house keeps popping right up. I feel like this may be getting in the way of your hopes and your wishes, okay? You could actually even be spending quite a lot of money on, you know, trying to maintain this sense of social life, or maintain this sense of, you know, I feel like you're just trying to keep up somewhat with the masses. But it's not really serving you. I feel like it's not serving you. You know, you're finding it very difficult to maintain, basically. And I just don't feel like you're finding it very fulfilling. Right, I'm sorry, guys, that this person is just spamming everybody. So I've deleted her. Why did they do that? It really annoys me. Sorry, guys. I just can't stop that. I don't know how to. Anyway, let's carry on. So yeah, so there might be a tendency to need to cut something out of your life, absolutely. The Cancer is very, very sensitive, okay, and it's very, very nostalgic, but it's also very imaginative, okay, and it really kind of rules that deep mind, and also insecurities, okay. So maybe you drink to kind of make yourself feel more secure in social situations. Air signs are very, very intellectual. You know, their minds are constantly working. However, because of this, they can seem a little bit detached and a little bit aloof. So maybe sometimes there's a difficulty making friends, because friends, you know, they are quite complex. Air signs, I'll admit that. There's a complexity to them. Now, I'll explain what I mean by that. On a zodiac wheel, the only signs that are not ruled by any type of animal, really, unless you want to go deep into esoteric study, are the air signs. Gemini is the twins, Libra is the scales, and Aquarius is the water bearer, which represents man. So they're the only signs that don't have apart from Virgo. Virgo's very special. But apart from the rest of them, you know, they're all, the zodiac means circle of animals. That's what it is. I've forgotten what the actual Latin word for zodiac is. But so there's something very different about air signs, and it's because they are not attached to anything. They're not attached to the emotions, really. They're not attached to spirit. You know, our thoughts are very dynamic. They can go many ways, basically. These cards are just flying out, you know. I love this deck. I never use it. I should use it more. Right, so again, 8 of Cups, you know, walking away from a situation, wanting to kind of get away from something, I feel. 10 of Air coming out for you again, guys. So the 10 of Air, these cards are quite difficult to see, but the 10 of Air, again, talks about a release. This is about walking away from a situation. It's been really, really painful. You know, I feel like there's been a lot of thought gone into this, whatever it is that you're wanting to release and get away from. I feel like this is very much connected to friends again, a social circle, somebody that you've probably, you know, friends that you've known from childhood, I'm hearing, you know, people that you're very deeply connected to with Neptune's influence here. 10 of Air is a very difficult ending, you know, but it's almost like, I know I need to get away from these. I know. It's almost like it's so deep. The knowing is so deep, but it's also very, very difficult to do as well. That could be because there is childhood memories, and there is a lot of, you know, there's a lot of things maybe that other people don't know. So it's making it very difficult to walk away, okay? But with this 10 of Air showing up, it's telling me that this needs to happen. It really needs to happen. Why is everybody spamming me tonight? You're doing my head in, sorry guys, but just block. Okay, so yeah, so you know, water and air. Now, if you think about water and air, what's the dynamic? Waves. So emotions are all over at the moment. Emotions are all over. And I'm also seeing that this is somebody, you're very unsteady on your feet. Okay, so you may have been drinking to a point. Sarah, I don't know why everybody targets you for readings. Interesting, but yeah, I'm just getting this very unsteadiness, and I'm also seeing like a jellyfish as well. So like, you know, I am just getting this very like all over the place, like a bit like a jellyfish at the moment. I'm hearing like no backbone as well. So maybe you need to stand up for yourself. Maybe you need to kind of represent yourself a little bit more in this situation. I feel like that you could actually just be walking away and not saying what needs to be said in a dynamic or a situation, something like that. But it's almost like you need to maybe have a sense of backbone is what I'm hearing. Okay, so you could be wanting to travel. Okay, you could be wanting to establish something new. Okay, 3 of Fire is all about not just formulating a plan, but acting on it as well. So let's just stick with the example of, you know, not drinking anymore, because it's, you know, everyone can get on that vibe. It's almost like you've been saying it for so long, but not actually doing anything about it. But it's almost like now you're saying, like, now's the day. Now's the day. You know, I've looked over every possible avenue. I've tried every, you know what I mean, to try and fix this situation. There's no other way. This is how I've got to do it. So you might even be wanting to go to some type of retreat or some getaway, you know, maybe even traveling to go see family or something like that, because I did see the 4 of Wands coming up when I was shuffling. So it's almost like somewhere where things just flow a little bit easier. You know, maybe your life's quite difficult where you are, so you drink to compensate that. Or even at least just to fog it out, or even at least just to, you know, it's quite emotional. I'm getting that this is quite an emotion. You know, there's a deep sense of emotion with this reading, actually. The Star card showing up, which is telling me that, number 1, you need to heal. There's a lot of healing that needs to take place. Let's try and focus that. There's a lot of healing that needs to take place here with the Star. This is Aquarian energy. And again, this is the water bearer. And usually this water bearer is tipping the waters out of the urn. Now, an urn is symbolic of death. And in these cards, the urn is symbolic of Saturn. So it does talk about ridding yourself of toxins. So maybe like a bit of a detox needs to happen. You know, get rid of the pollution from the bloodstream, from the waters, from the fluids. Because again, this is the water bearer. This is Aquarius. This is serious. Aquarius is also sub-ruled by Saturn. So there's a serious all the time with Aquarius. There is this wanton, free-spirited nature, okay, which is amazing. If you think about when you're spiritually healing, you wander in your mind into that celestial realm. That's where you do all that work. But there is also a very matter-of-fact reality that runs alongside it as well. So again, it's almost like you may be saying, okay, that I do enjoy drinking, I do enjoy, you know, not giving a shit and this, that, and the other, and it does give me a sense of fulfillment. However, in reality, I'm hurting people, or I'm causing a lot of problems for myself, or I'm losing a lot of friends because of it, or something like that. So I am seeing that there is a bit of a dynamic here. You may not have been bothered about that in the past. You may have just found it quite easy to walk away from friendships because you were just so caught up in this situation, let's just say. So it wasn't I'm hearing like water off a duck's back, literally, like whatever, bye. Mina, I don't do individual readings. I just do I'm just doing the elements, okay? But if you want a personal reading, you can send me a message and you can book a personal reading. Just have a look at my website. So yeah, so again, this is being guided as well. Okay, so there's something that's going on within you where you are being guided, and if you're not being guided, you are being forced, because again, it's Aquarius energy, and Uranus rules Aquarius. So I'm feeling like there is a sense of being guided. There is a sense of kind of really following that intuition, but on a very high vibration. It's almost like you want to raise that vibration. So you're becoming very aware that you need to heal. You're becoming very aware that you need to, and again, this is about pouring that drink away down the sink. That's all I'm getting now. It doesn't have to be drink. It just could be something that is against your betterment, basically. But there is a need to heal here. The star comes out when there's a need to heal. Now, another thing that I will mention as well is we are all stars. So when what we would describe as a difficult time, what we would describe as a breakdown, is actually a breakthrough. And what happens is internally, the idea of who we are explodes. And it's almost like, oh my God, my whole world's shattered. And that's because you've outgrown. And it's almost like you've outgrown that inner shell, that inner skin. And you do have to relearn yourself somewhat. So it is, I feel like it's a way of recalibration. When you have a breakdown or a breakthrough, it's a way of recalibrating the soul. It's almost like it bursts like a star into fragments, and then it goes, it sticks itself back together, literally. And it's almost like this is what needs to take place, okay? 8 of Air showing up. Now, 8 of Air is symbolic of like a mental prison. Again, this is really about a sense of delusion, but more than anything, it's showing me that there needs to be some mind control. Get control over those thoughts, get control over that will, get control. Oh, is this resonating for you, girl? Wake up. Mind control needs to happen. This is what this card is about. It's about listening to those angels, listening to that voice in your head, listening to that voice of reason, because whenever the swords come up, you can guarantee that there is an element of reason or logic or something along those lines. They're very communicative, they're very much associated with grammar, how you speak, how you think, what you say. It's not called spelling for no reason. There is a reason it's called spelling, is because everything that you speak then becomes reality. If it's not spoken, then it's not real, apparently. And it's only real to you, in your own inner world. But as soon as something comes out of your mouth, so maybe you need to, again, I'm getting this, speak out, tell somebody what's going on, tell somebody that you're suffering, tell somebody that you need some help, something along those lines, because bottling it all up really is literally bottling it all up. You are just drinking yourself into the bottom of a bottle, literally. That's it. And I'm seeing like a tequila as well. So tequila might even be a bit of an Achilles heel, because it's enough to tip you over the edge. It's enough, there's a potency here, is what I'm trying to get at. I am seeing that I'm seeing like so I'm seeing like there may be a tendency to move through different social groups as well, and it's almost like wearing a mask. So you may present yourself and you may arrive a certain way, but then it's almost like by the time you exit a situation, that mask has fallen off, you know, and that's really the reason why you maybe keep, you know, moving on and moving away, that kind of thing. It's almost like that mask falls off and people start to see the real you. That can be quite difficult, okay, especially when you're trying to hide a potential addiction, or you're trying to hide the depth of the grasp that a thing has over you. This is a very watery reading for a Libra, and I know Libras do not like emotions. Oh my God, they will try and stay so far from. I try to logic every emotion that I have, sometimes rather than just feeling them. I have to make sense of them because it won't go away until I do. But in actual fact, our thoughts are not our emotions. They're completely separate. They do communicate, but they are separate. So yeah, I do feel like there's something going on here with. I feel like this could even also be an addiction that really began in childhood. I'm getting dream state that came up. You know, this was flipped around in the deck. So dream state again. So it's almost like you are walking through life just in a fog, in a daze. You know, the Neptune rules dreams and delusions and things of grandeur and all of that stuff, but it's almost like dream state, not, you know, I'm just getting this completely just inebriated. Do you know, that's how you're functioning and dealing with life. It's like you're not even part of this world, this reality. You know, you're so far up there that it just needs to just stop, basically. I've made up my mind. See, this is what I was saying before. Do you know when I was saying, like, maybe you've decided that, you know, nothing that you've tried in the past is going to work, but this is one last thing that you need to do, you know, get away from people, you know, go see somebody, go spend some time in a rehab, you know, try to balance and maybe even speak to somebody. And again, like I'm saying, like a psychologist or, you know, some type of an addiction therapist or something like that. You may be thinking that now is the only way that you're actually going to rid yourself of this. It's not. You maybe try to do it by yourself, because I am seeing, look, you just stood there. Sorry, focus. If I can, you just stood there. And if you can, oh gosh, I might even try to turn the bloody screen down. It's not going to do it. Anyway, so it's almost like in the background, you can't see it, but there is a boat here. And it's almost like you're saying, look, I know that that's the only way. I just need to, oh yeah, absolutely. You know, addiction is an illness. It really, really is. And it's quite life gripping for some people. It's a terrible illness. So yeah, it really is about, you know, wanting to go and disappear and just get away and just recharge the emotions and all of that stuff, you know. Absolutely. And I think, you know, we can all relate to that as well, Girl Wake Up. You know, it's not as uncommon as we think it is, you know, and people are not just addicted to drink and drugs, they're addicted to food, they're addicted to sex, they're addicted to, there's a lot of people that are addicted to stuff that don't even actually realise it. Again, it's that sense of delusion. We can delude ourselves sometimes. Hi, Never. So yeah, again, like I said, you know, you may have made your mind up to separate somewhat and move on and try to gain a sense of, you know, a sense of equilibrium, let's just say. I don't do independent questions, but you can send me a message if you want on Facebook and we can speak on there. And I do personal readings as well, so you can have a look at my website. All my information's on my page. Travel by air again. See, I'm sorry guys, the light's changing, so it's becoming difficult to show you the cards, but travel by air, okay, is very much about getting away, but also your mind, you know, traveling mentally far and wide, trying to come to some type of conclusion or to find that answer. And you know, this isn't really about going deep, this is about really thinking about something, really thinking about a situation. You know, it's kind of separate from the emotions. Oh, it's all right, Daniel, you can go back. I've just finished your reading for the sign of Cancer. So yeah, so that's what we're getting. I am, again, like I said, travel definitely indicated, moving away indicated, overcoming of some kind indicated, wanting to re-establish something. Okay, maybe you're actually wanting to re-establish. Right now, I'm getting quite a deep message actually. I feel like you're drinking to try to re-establish a relationship with somebody that may have even passed on now. So it's like you've lost somebody and it was really difficult for you to come to grips with. It was something that you completely got lost in. You know, you started drinking, you didn't even care what time it was. It was just, you know, every time was go time. And it was a means to re-establish a connection with somebody that you lost. And you really idolized this person. You thought this person was just everything. You know, this could have been a childhood friend. This could have been somebody who was very maternal even. I'm even getting like a maternal. This could have also been somebody that you actually just used to drink with. But, you know, maybe the drink took them, if that makes sense. So you really, you've started to go deeper into that and say, you know, in a sense, you know, take me with you, not physically, but astrally, you know, emotionally. It's almost like he wasn't ready for this person to leave. It was probably even quite sudden. This is why I was talking about the star bursting. This is what it is. It's almost like it was so sudden that it was quite scary, actually. And you just got lost in that. And this is what you can't get out of. This is this 8 of air. You know, you're trapped. I'm so sorry about this. I don't know what to blot it out. Do you know what, guys? Bear with me a moment. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Because you might even be able to see my screen. Just bear with me. Because I really want to show you these cards if I can. Now, I'm going to put up a bit of a dark background, really. Let's see if that makes any difference. Kind of, maybe not. You know, anyway. So yeah, so this eight of air, this is really what this is about. It's I feel like there's been a loss, absolutely been a loss, and it's been very difficult for you to come to terms with, because Neptune does rule losses as well. It really does. I'm going to just pull another couple of cards off here, and then we'll go to the Earth reading. I am seeing something about a lot of memories as well. There's a lot of memories, and it's almost like treasures. You treasure the memories that you have with this person, so that when you drink and you're in that dream state, it's almost like you can stay there. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. You know, it's such a shame, you know, that we're actually given these things that harm us. I find it quite interesting that alcohol is legal. And, you know, I'm not saying I've never drank. I'm not saying I never will drink. But because it has such a grip on people, I'm actually so shocked that we're allowed to sell it the way that we are. It just makes you think, doesn't it? You know, obviously we must make too much money from it. It doesn't matter who it's getting rid of. So, yeah, it's awful. So I'm sorry to hear that. Retreat, told you. Retreat, getting away. This is about rehab. Retreat. Retreat means to go again, to treat again. You know, when you go to a doctor, what do you go for? You go for a treatment. Okay, so retreat means to retreat. Okay, you need to remedy. I'm getting like remedy now. Remedies for the soul. Somebody needs to remedy the soul. That's what it is. Astrology could be a good option for this person, you know. Now I've got deflated. I might move my camera soon so you can see. We've got deflated, and these came out achievements. Okay, so again, this is like what I was saying about trying to establish something. You know, this, if it's not you, or if it's someone you dealing with, it's almost like this person saying, like, I want that, I want to achieve it. That would be an achievement for me to be able to do that. So, and then we've got I see you. I see you. Now, this really talks to me about what I've just said. That person that's been lost. It's almost like I see you in my dreams. I see you in my day-to-day. I see you in my everyday life. I'm going to move my camera because that light's just shocking, isn't it? Turn this down. Sorry, guys. It is what it is. Why does everything seem so bright all of a sudden? Sorry. Is that better? A little bit. So yeah, so again, like I said, you know, that I see you is really much, it's much to do with this person's mind is really plagued by memory. And depending on what their other placements are, you know, people are never just one thing. There are a multitude of things. We really need to get to grips with that. And until we understand astrology and how complex human nature is, all nature is complex, we will always look at people like they are one thing. You can look at an addict and say they're an addict. They're not just an addict. There might be a mother, there might be a daughter, there might be a wife or a husband. You know, there are many, many things, but we always tend to look at them through one lens. And that's standard until you do the work and you wake yourself up and you realise that there is lots, you know, human beings are crystals. Every single planetary force draws things from us. And that's why we end up looking the way that we do. That's why all Pisceans will look the same somewhat. And, you know, there might be slight differences or, you know, and that's really what it is. It's the planetary forces pushing and pulling our atom, basically. That's what it is. And sometimes when people understand this, they're able to overcome these difficulties and addictions and stuff. Sometimes all that people are really looking for is an answer, especially if they're an air sign, especially. They need to make sense of things. I've just seen the mouse in this deck of cards, which is symbolic of a loss. I feel like this is some type of a trauma that the person's dealing with, either you or yourself or somebody that you know. I really kind of feel like it isn't you as well, though. I feel like this is not your reading. I feel like this is more of a insight into somebody that's in your life. Like, you know, Girl Wake Up said, it could be her mother, you know, my mother. I do feel like it is an energy of somebody else. So, right, Earth signs. That were a heavy one. Got a different deck for you, Earth signs. So let's see what we can get. I actually do think like that light's made a bit of a difference. I love this little Earth thing. Right, so you've got this lovely deck here. Now, I know you can't see my spread now, but I am going to hold the cards up. I'm going to keep going with this light situation until I get it right, basically. Right, let's do your dice first. So we've got, I'm going to do that again, sorry, I think my boob's going now. We've got Pluto in Aries, second house, okay? Wow, big transformation of the personality and the self, especially mental. So Pluto's all about damage, destruction, you know, we know that. And I feel like, again, this theme of damage control. Yeah, Helen, you're an Earth sign. Emma, you save the best till last. Absolutely. Do you know, I've been learning some interesting stuff about your sign, Emma. And Joe, yeah, absolutely. So Pluto, you know, destruction, death. And actually, I've got Capricorn in my first house as well. So I feel Earth energy quite prominently. But Pluto is all about transformation, regeneration, rejuvenation. And it really is the sign that governs purification of the soul. It also rules sex. Now, think about it. When you, and I don't want to get too technical because at the end of the day, we're on Facebook and we're on YouTube, but when you have sex and you have an orgasm, basically, have you ever seen anybody smile through that? It's not a nice thing for the soul to go through. In actual fact, that is what is sinful. It's not a sin because we are animal beings. We are we're triune beings, basically. However, that is blasphemy of the soul, basically, because you are wasting creative life seed, basically. That's what it is. We can go into the whole anatomy of it. I'm not gonna, you know, but all this information is going to be available on my site now that I'm not as tied up with family affairs and matters like that, but it'll be on there and you'll be made aware. So keep an eye on the page, but on my page. But in Aries, this is very much to do with the mental. It's very much to do with the head, and it's very much to do with the will and the energy, and also how that's projected. It's also to do with the personality, because Aries is the first sign, rules the first house, and the first house is all about the person and how, not so much the identity, but also what formulates a person. The second house is all about possessions now. So there could be something going on with regards to the fact that there is some type of, right now, so I'm seeing a mortgage first and foremost, okay? So some type of mortgage or some type of very, like, agreement. Pluto, because it rules death, right? Think of it like this. Pluto, in Latin, the word mors means death. Now think of things that begin with that word, Morse code, silent. mortuary, a morgue, a mortgage, which is a debt until death, basically. So, you know, there's something to do with that. The second house is all about possessions. It's all about the things that we value and the things that pretty much basically we cannot take with us. So very earthy, very material items. Aries being the baby of the zodiac, it could be to do with the fact that you maybe even have inherited some type of valuable, you know, or something like that. You're really trying to use your head with regards to where you can place this, because Pluto does rule wealth. Okay, so we've got second house of income and money and possessions, and Pluto, which rules wealth, through some type of insurance or, you know, something along those lines. And then we've got Aries, which is the head, but also Aries uses the head to book. You know, so it's like putting it to use. So it's almost like, what can I invest it into? So there could be something along those lines with regards to finances and money. But this is very fiery, earthy, watery energy. The one thing that is missing is air. So I want you to bear that in mind. So it's almost like there's not a lot of thought that's being gone into this. It's, you know, it's this might not have even happened actually yet, because it's not, I don't even think that this is something that maybe even you're aware of, let's just say. It's almost like it's not being realized. So again, like I said, it could be I'm just getting like property, some type of something like that. Okay, so let's move on. If anything else comes up, obviously I'll go back, but that's really what I'm getting from this little reading. Right, you ready? We've got, now these cards do tend to throw me because their colour, the structure is a little bit different, so you'll have to bear with. Eight of Wands, Three of Cups. Eight of Wands talks about momentum, and it talks about movement, and it talks about travel. So you could be traveling, okay? If it's not, this can be known as the arrows of love, this card as well. There is a sense of divinity to this card because of the sky. You know, we're looking up to the sky and we're really seeing that shooting star, and that's really why this card is symbolic of momentum. Things shooting, happening, coming out of nowhere. So you could be receiving some type of communication or some type of incoming, okay? And it was quite unexpected as well. So if this has happened, it's happened. If it hasn't, it hasn't. Again, it'll be different. We're all on different timelines, but this is accelerated motion. So it talks about something really taking off and picking up the pace. Some, you know, things happening quickly, progressively. We've got rejoicing, celebration. This is a good card. This is a card of fluidity and things working together. This is a good card for support, emotional support. This is a good card for a sense of like solidarity. The threes all symbolize growth and collaboration, let's just say, things all working in synchronicity, because it's a trine, it's a triangle, and in astrology, trines really represent some type of a talent as well. So this could even be indicative of a talent of some kind. Because it's the cups as well, it could indicate three people, okay? So three people could be involved in a situation, because cups are vessels and we are containers, okay? Now, what's interesting that I'm picking up is the Eight of Wands really is mutable energy. So you could be dealing with a Sagittarius, but really this is somebody that's here, there and everywhere. So if this is a person that you're dealing with in a romantic capacity, this is somebody that it's not very established, or it's not grounded. It's more like a lover than a partner. This is somebody that kind of likes to get around, you know, they might be quite hard to pin down. They always seem to be on the go. They never really stop. It's almost like maybe like they're even a little bit of a whirlwind where you're just like, oh my God, you make my head hurt, just stop. This is somebody who might even love bomb, okay? So I'm even seeing that somebody love bombing the shit out of you as well, and it's a bit like intense because it's almost like it comes out of nowhere, and there's a bit of an awkwardness to it because of that. It's almost like, excuse me, struggling to talk here, so you might need to talk up for yourself, or this person might be actually wanting to tell you something, but they're struggling to tell you. But I am seeing this bit of a player dynamic, and I'm saying that because we've got this Three of Cups, and this Three of Cups is really, again, it's almost like there's a third factor. So it doesn't have to be another person. A third factor could just be another thing. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a situation. But really with the cup, it talks about something containing more than what it actually appears to be. You could look at a cup and it's absolutely empty. If it's a cup that's not see-through, you know, this could be empty, but it could be full of something. And for example, it could be full of wine. Well, wine's not just got one component. It's not water, it's wine. So it's almost like there could be a situation that seems to be one thing, but in actual fact, it's a lot more complex than it appears to be. I feel like this is also as well, this is basically saying, I'm just getting this is somebody that moves in the night. So this could be somebody that's quite secretive, actually. This is somebody that doesn't really want to be seen. So it's almost like as quick as they're there, they're out the back door. So I am hearing somewhat of a little bit of a booty call. So again, if that resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's fine. But I am maybe seeing like, it's almost like drinks, you know what, and out the back door. So it's just, you know, there's no stability to this. It's very, very, and I'm not even saying that it's not enjoyable. You know, it might be enjoyable. It might be quite pleasurable. But I am just seeing, because what I'm seeing here is chemistry, you see. This is saying rejoicing, celebration. So it's almost like, if you can see, it's like a bit of a delusion, and everybody's got like the input in. So it's almost like this chemical reaction that's taking place that's actually quite spectacular, but it's very short-lived. So which is why I'm saying like a booty call, because it's like it's short-lived. It doesn't last very long. You know, this might even be like a bit of a 1 minute man type girl type situation, you know, but the chemistry is there. So that's kind of what you're dealing with at the moment. But then we've got this discontentment and boredom and stand your ground. So again, I've got this like, it was a bit like I was struggling to speak up, but this really is. So I feel like there's a bit of a blessing that's being missed here, because this is about discontentment and boredom. You know, this is someone who is so focused on that shadow, so focused on the fact that this isn't the way that they want it to be, or this isn't manifesting for me the way in which I wanted it to manifest, or something to that degree, that they're actually missing the blessing that's being bestowed on them. And you can see that that's symbolized in the rainbow behind the man, you know, is looking away from it. He is very much connected to it, but I'm also seeing like there is this boundary, the boundary that's been put in place. So I feel like maybe, because in the distance I'm seeing a castle. Now castles are symbolic of stability, you know, the structures, these are big structures, you know, these didn't take 2 minutes to build. These are well-established structures, and it's almost like this person is not part of that. You know, it's almost like there's a lot of life going on over here. It's almost like a little village. There's loads of trees, it's very established, you know, it's all nice and bright in the sky, whereas this person's over here in the dark, getting very much a secretive, like a rendezvous. This could even be with, now again, like I said, this energy can go both ways, but I am seeing like, like an affair, okay, but it's almost like there's two people that are together, and maybe you're the third party, or maybe you've got a partner and this other person's the third party. But it's almost like that there's something that's established, and because it's established, you or this other person isn't able to be part of it. And it's almost like this blessing's being blocked, because I'm just hearing like, had it been done the correct way, everything that's trying to come through, everything that you know, that it's almost like this chemistry is now seeping into your world. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? And I know it's a bit fragmented, but I'm trying to really, you know, the words are getting stuck in my throat. It's almost like all this chemistry that's being shared, right? There's like magic here. This is magic. I feel like this has happened like unexpectedly. It's developed, you know, there was that much of a flow and there was that much of a resonance, okay, let's just say, that it's almost like it's started to seep into your world and it's casting a shadow, because it's almost like you're missing out and you're saying, I wish that was me, or they're saying, I wish that was me. So it's almost like, again, this thing that's happened in the shadows, this thing that's been happening behind the scenes, it's becoming much more of a burden than it was supposed to become, because it was supposed to be very much light-hearted fun. There wasn't supposed to be any attachment to it, I don't believe. But it's almost like it's hit home. It's planted. Normally, you'll see these rods flying through the air, so it would represent somewhat of an ungrounded situation. But in this reading, I feel like these rods have penetrated the ground, and it's almost like they've marked a point. Let's just say marked a point. And that point was the beginning of something. I hope this makes sense for somebody, because I really feel like I'm really trying to explain this, and this is hard. I feel like there's a lot of unspoken words. There's a lot of unspoken things. It's almost like there is an element of not being able to say it because it becomes real. And it's almost like it could cause a sense of ruin, basically. We've got this stand your ground here. Now, stand your ground, again, this is Wands energy, so there's absolute passion here. And it's almost like somebody wants to speak up and say, pick me, choose me, I'm the one, you know I am. This is about putting yourself on a pedestal, or this person putting themselves on a pedestal and saying, you know, I'm your person, I'm the man for the job. The sevens are very creative, and because they're very creative, they're very active. So it's almost like they're saying, like, I'll do anything that you want me to do. You know, this, if you actually look here, this big planet in the background, it's almost like that's Jupiter. And he's basically saying, like, I am, you know, me, I am worthy. And you know what I mean? Like, if you've seen all them films where Jupiter, like, shoots his, what's it called? His lightning bolt, and it chooses somebody, or something like that. It's almost like this person saying, pick me, because I know how much of a blessing it would be. So yeah, I am seeing that quite clearly, actually. I'm also seeing, this is interesting because I'm getting a name, and I don't usually get this really with this card, but I'm seeing Moses quite clearly. Or if it's not Moses, then it's something that begins with an M. And you know, it's so interesting. And now I'm hearing, let my people go. So this is really weird, because through every single reading that I've done tonight, it talks about leaving a group or walking away or some type of association. Now I'm hearing, let my people go. Let my people go. That's interesting, isn't it? I feel like maybe somebody's in a commitment where you know they're not happy, or they know you're not happy. So it's almost like they're saying, let my people go, as in, like, it's almost like you or them, if this makes sense, feels like you're in a situation that is somewhat like a sense of entrapment. You're there because you have to be, or they're there because they have to be. Do you know what I mean? And there's a little bit of like, this is unfair. You know, this is really unfair. So you're getting really down about it, or this other person's getting really down. It's almost like you know what this could be, you know, and because of how it's manifest, it's really, really difficult to see how it's gonna accumulate. Let's just put it that way, or develop. Four's really a very rigid, okay? So they represent a difficulty. If you think about a brick, if you ever tried rolling a brick, it's, you know, I'm not saying you can't do it, because you can, but it don't get very far, and it's quite difficult because it's square and it's flat. So it's almost like, and bricks are solid. So it's almost like I'm getting like a family, actually, now. I'm literally getting like a family dynamic, and it's solid. It's not even, maybe even something that, it's almost like there's like a complete unawareness of what's going on, basically. So yeah, so there's that. Now we've got partnerships and alliances. Now this is, again, 3 of Wands. There's a lot of passion here, lots of passion, absolutely, because we've got fire. Fire is passion. Fire is plasma. You know, it gets you hot under the collar, gets your blood pumping. You know, I really do feel like there is a lot of sexual activity in this card, and if it's not sexual activity, it's arousal, absolutely. But I am just seeing that something was happening repetitively, but it was almost like a no strings attached dynamic. Something started to develop. There was feelings that started to brew. Then it's almost like it got really difficult because you couldn't continue it because there was other factors affecting it. So you or the other person started to get really discontent and even feel shut out. I'm hearing like you felt like you were shut out because you couldn't even be, let's say you were friends in this dynamic. It's almost like you couldn't even be friends now because you had that on your conscience that this was the situation. Then we've got this 7 of Wands, which is stand your ground. It's almost like you want to say like me, like I'm here, like it's almost like everything needs to come out and you're just ready to kind of hold your hands up and say, I'm the big bad wolf, what are you going to do? And then with this 3, we've got this partnerships and alliances, and it's almost like saying like, look, the cat's out of the bag now, are we doing this or not? So this is a very, very directed reading. Now, one thing I will say about earth signs is they are very, very based on reality. Like they don't beat around the bush because they are the bush that needs beating on or beating around. Do you know what I mean? So it's something like that. It's almost like this is very, very real. I don't feel like a fantasy-based scenario or relationship is enough for an earth sign because they need something solid and tangible and something that they can see and touch and taste, and you know, the very sensory are earth signs. So again, we've got 2 3s here, and I'm seeing 47, so somebody could be 47 years of age, but I am seeing 33 as well, and I'm also seeing 43. But I'm also seeing I'm seeing this like a victory, but I'm also seeing like a it's almost like, what is that? It's almost like, right, I'm getting like this is the bit of a battle. Do you know what I mean? Like it's almost like who's going to be victorious, who's going to come out on top, who's going to win. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like, because I'm getting very mercurial energy, which is dynamic. It's about, you know, things working both ways, but it's almost like somebody wants to come out on top. And this reading is really interesting, so I want to keep digging. Let me see what this discontentment and boredom is. Temptation. Told you, temptation. So again, this is Capricorn energy, so you could be dealing with a Capricorn, but really what Capricorn is all about is establishments. Capricorn rules public image. This is somebody what wants public recognition of something. This is somebody who wants a very stable seat. This is somebody that wants a very stable position. This is someone that is very concerned with worldly matters and reality. This is somebody who is well established. Okay, this is the card of the devil. Okay, devil rules the material realm, and they want to control and they want to dominate and they want to possess. But in actual fact, January might be quite relevant to some people as well, because this is just really standing out to me, basically, January. And I'm hearing like the prodigal son as well, the prodigal son. So the prodigal son is really kind of, reading about this the other day and I've completely forgot what it's about. I am seeing like somebody turning the other cheek. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, so if you can see in the card, right, this is about somebody turning the other cheek, but that key has actually got a heart in it. So it's almost like, I feel like somebody is really refusing to go any deeper. Let's just say go any deeper. It's almost like they're saying, no, we can't, no, we can't. So it's almost like this is an access denied. I'm hearing access denied. So somebody may not be wanting to go any further with this. And they're turning their other cheek. I feel like this is the person that's in control. So whoever it is that seems to be seated in more of a dominant position, whoever it is that's more comfortable in life, let's just say something like that, someone who is more established, they're the one that's saying, no, I can't. But do you know what? I'm also hearing this is the person that's trapped inside the castle. So here, look, it's got that little window. And it's almost like he's saying, I really want to come to you. I really want to come to you. And it's almost like he wants to grab hold of that key and run towards you. but then it's almost like the more established version of this person. This is the person that's trapped in this tower in the background, if you can see. There's a little tower, camera shit, obviously, but there's a little tower, and it's almost like, right, I'm hearing Freddie Mercury, that I want to break through. So that could be relevant for somebody, because that came through very loud. So something to do with that. This is somebody that just wants to break free, and it's almost like saying, like, here, take my hand, you know, partners in arms. That's what I'm getting. It's like partnership, like partners in arms, basically. This could actually be biracial as well, because I always see that for some reason. I don't know why. It's something that stands up to me. But I am also seeing like Libra energy as well. So Libra energy is all about relationships, agreements, and alliances. Okay. Last card. Now this is interesting, because this deck is actually the right way up, and I've pulled out emotional withdrawal reversed. Now this is really saying that this is a situation that neither of you can walk away from, because it's a number 8, so it's reciprocal. Okay, and it's almost like saying, like, I can't leave this alone. Like I keep going back to poke the beast, keep going back to poke the fire. You know, this is the beast, this is the fire. You know, and it's just, there is a very, very deep sense of attachment with this reading. It's actually maybe even becoming and turning into somewhat of an obsession, let's just say. I feel like there's equal obsession shared between the two. I'm hearing Wish Upon a Star. It's actually a song, and I don't know who sings it, but if somebody can remember it, then that's brilliant. Try and recall it, or write it in the comments. But it's like, Wish Upon a Star. I think it's an old song. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm hearing that quite loudly. Retreat. Again, retreat. This is about getting away, you know, wanting to go somewhere, retreat from, you know, reality, basically, and just get lost in each other. That's really, like, with this temptation, it's like deep, deep, deep passion, man. Like, lock me in a room and throw away that key. You know, this is very, very heavy, heated passion. What did I say? Freak in the sheets. Freak in the sheets. So this is someone who's probably very good in the bedroom, and if not, then they think you're very good in the bedroom, or you might just be very good. You know, there might just be that alchemical flow of bodily fluids. That's disgusting, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's almost like of equal measure. You know, you both are of equal measure. You didn't expect this to happen on some player shit. So again, on some player shit. So this is really symbolic of the fact that there is another thing to factor in. Sagittarius energy, like I said, could be dealing with a Sag, but you don't have to be, you know, it could just be somebody that's displaying, I'm leaving. This card keeps coming out for everybody, but it's almost like, I feel like somebody, again, with this card of discontentment and boredom, you know, this could be you, it could be the other person, but it is basically saying, look, I'm ready to go. And if you actually look at this card, this person it's almost like he's been sat on that wall, he's got frigging piles, it's like, I've been here that long, the seasons are changing. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, what's that? Dion and the Belmonts, Wish Upon a Star. Thank you, Charmaine. Perfect. You know, I do get songs and stuff like that all the time, but I really struggle sometimes to recall the titles and stuff. But yeah, so this person's been sat there for ages. They're ready to go. They're bored. You know, they're ready to start somewhere. And this is somebody that is really walking into the Five of Pentacles, because, you know, that's the next card. And the Five of Pentacles is about being ghosted, being shut out, really kind of going through it. It's about a lack mentality. It's the type of energy that we all go through when we do walk away from a situation that we had high hopes for. And it's also a card of rejection, feeling rejected as well. Okay. So I do feel like there's a sense of rejection. And for the final card, stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Now, this really is, I don't feel like this is anything to do with you drinking water, but it's almost like saying, this is drying up. This is my emotions for this situation are really drying up. It's just like, you know, it's about like feeding myself. If I'm putting it out there and it's not being appreciated, I might as well take it for myself, you know. So I do feel like this sense of love is being fed back into the self. If it's not happening now, then it will happen, because it's drying up. And I feel like it's drying up because there is just too much passion here. It's almost like the passion is really taking over everything else. But I just feel like there's some reason why the two of you can't be together. I really do think that. So that's your reading, Capricorn. Not Capricorn. Why am I saying that? Because I'm looking at temptation. So that's a confirmation right there. Could be dealing with a Capricorn. Alexa is on. In fact, she's going to go off now. Watch.
Sorry,
See?
I didn't know that one.
Alexa, stop. I tell her off all the time. It's Rolls Royce. I'm going to Google it, and I'm actually going to put it in as well. We'll all do it. But yeah, anyway, that's the song I've got. So in actual fact, listen to that message all the way through, because there could be messages in there for you. But that's quite a complex reading. You know, that's a complex reading, which I'm not surprised at all, because earth signs are most complex, because you need a little bit of every single element, you know, air, water, fire. That's that to create earth, basically. So yeah, I hope that resonated for somebody. And you know, I hope these readings actually touched base with people and you was able to take something from it. I'm wishing on a star to follow where you are. I'm wishing on a dream to follow what it means. Wishing on a star. Do you know what? Look at that. This is what I'm saying. I'm wishing on a star, right? Look, to follow where you are, if you can see. I'm wishing on a star to follow where you are. I'm wishing on a dream to follow what it means. And I wish on all the rainbows that I see. I wish, I can't even get my bloody words out, on all the people who really dream. And I'm wishing on tomorrow, praying it'll come. And I'm wishing on all the loving we ever done. I never thought I'd see a time when you would be so far away from home, so far away from me. Like I said, distance, man. You're not together. Whoever this reading's resonating for, there is something that is restricting the flow of this chemistry. And I've got a feeling it's got something to do with an establishment of some kind, whether it's family, whether it's a relationship, whether it's some type of work, it doesn't matter. There is something else. It could actually, and do you know what? I'm going to ask. Let's just ask. What is it? Don't know why I guess all the time. I kind of just ask. Disruption. Again, this is the tower. This is the establishment of something. This could be work, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be something that has been long established. Again, like a relationship, but even like a serious relationship, like a serious committed relationship. Conflict. This is drama, conflict, challenges. So I'm going to leave it there. It's not fair that I keep digging into that reading when everybody else has had one, but absolutely, like if that does resonate for somebody, then, you know, I feel for you, because it's not easy. And, you know, and a lot of the time we don't ask for these things to be thrown at us. You know, things do, you know, things do affect us sometimes out of the blue. Now, one thing that I will mention before I go is that Saturn is now retrograde in Pisces and Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn. So we've got an earth sign retrograding through a water. Sorry, we've got an earth planet, which is Saturn, retrograding through a water sign, which is Pisces. And then we've got a water fiery, but let's just say water planet retrograding through an earth sign. I think I said that right. So there is a lot of muddling going up at the moment with regards to reality and our sense of security and our emotions at the moment. It's almost like they're all being re-established and remuddled, and you know, and it's hard because Pluto and Saturn are malefic planets, so they cause problems. They cause problems for people. I think Saturn is kind of the larger malefic. So Saturn's the one that causes the most problems, but because there is a very cleansing energy to Pluto, whereas Saturn is just hard to deal with, to be quite honest. So that's your reading, guys. I know it's gone on a little bit long. Oh, it's okay, Wendy. When I finish the reading, it stays on Facebook anyway. So all you have to do is just go back. I've got these banners on so that you can click through to see where the reading begins and ends, really. But I'll timestamp it as well. But that's it now, guys. I think I'm going to leave it there because I'm tired. Oh, thanks, Amira. Follow, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I don't do personal readings on lives, but you can go on my website and have a look. You can book personal readings. And all my readings, guys, just so you know, they are very much done like this. Like, but except I'll be speaking directly to you. So all my readings, all my services, they're all worldwide. So it doesn't matter where you are. If you're in another part of the world, I can always do a reading on a different time scale. I don't mind staying up through the night if that's what I need to do, because I do have clients in America and also Australia. So sometimes I have to do that anyway. So, you know, don't feel like you can't have a reading with me, because I will change. I will, you know, I will do, you know, move stuff around for you. So, same time next week, guys. Thank you very much for staying with me. Love these mix-ups, bright spice. Absolutely, Emma. And, you know, go over to my website and become a member. I am doing free memberships at the moment. So just sign up. You know, you can download the app on your phone, and then you'll be made aware when I'm doing these videos. You can get access to the blog posts. I've just done one about Capricorn. You know, Capricorn, sorry, Pluto retrograde through Capricorn. And again, because I'm getting a little bit more free now and things are not as heavy for me in the family situation, I will be posting more and more. Do you know what, Joe? I do online via video call, basically, because it's not really worth it for me to travel, because there's a lot of speaking in between. There's a lot of, yeah, absolutely, Charmaine, just bear with me a moment. Go on there, guys. Honestly, you know, you'll have to bear with me just for the next week or so. It's taken a lot for me to build this website, but there will be stuff on there. You know, go and sign up for free membership. And then obviously, if you like what you see, you can always go on to the paid membership, because you will get exclusive content. You will get, you know, monthly readings for your sign, things like that. You'll get discounts on readings, all sorts of stuff, competitions, everything, access to blog posts. There's loads of stuff. But I've just, again, like I said, everything just seems to have happened at once for me. I forgot what my bearing was. Yeah, so Joe, it doesn't really, I know that you know, you've got local connections basically, so I don't mind that so much, but it doesn't really benefit me to travel to people's houses, because I've got to travel, it costs money, I've got to then charge more. There's a lot of time wasted in between, because whilst I'm traveling, I could actually just be seeing another client. So if it's something that you want to rearrange, obviously just send me a message and let me know, because I know that you're not, yeah, if you came to me, because I know you're close, obviously. But like I said, you know, generally speaking, I just do it online, basically. It's exactly the same as this. But except you'll be able to see me and you'll be able to talk to me, because it's a video call, it's not a live. So, but yeah, have a look on the website, guys. There's loads of stuff on there. If you just want to send me a message on Facebook, if you just want to, anything you want, basically. I'm not tight, I'm not nasty, I don't bite you. You know what I mean? If I can't do something, I can't do it. But if I can, then I definitely will. I can always tailor the readings. It really just depends what it is that you want. I will say that tarot is quite transient, okay? So it is very much based on what's happening right now. So I could do a reading for you now, and then next week it could completely change, because that's what happens. If you are wanting to learn more about you as a person and how this stuff works, I have actually just created 2 masterclasses, one for astrology, beginning to end, and one for reading tarot, beginning to end. And I'll be doing classes on this online. Oh, thank you, Emma. Emma's had a few readings with me. Sarah has. I don't know who else is on here that I've done personals for. I think Holly. I'm not sure if Holly's on. Daniel's had personal readings from me, and he's had astrology readings as well. So yeah, a whole host of other stuff. I tell you what I am going to do, which I thought were a good idea. And just before I disappear, because I know that I've been speaking a lot tonight, guys, and I really appreciate it, but I thought this was quite a good idea. So I thought that it would be interesting, because, you know, you can do Sinistry readings. Sinistry readings is 2 people's astrology charts laid on top of each other. So you can actually really tell how a person's going to affect your energy, and you can tell how that other person's energy is going to affect you, okay? So I know it's not the same, but you know, like when Claire's Law came out, where you could actually look at a person to see into their criminal history and stuff like that, basically. This is kind of like that. This reading that I was thinking of doing is a bit like that. So if you was going on a date, let's just say, because I'm single, but I don't date, in actual fact, I'm probably going to be celibate for a very long time. But Sinistry, if you're going on a date, if you can figure out somebody's place and date of birth, so all you need is their birthday and where they were born. You don't need a time. We're not doing that. We don't need to go that deep. But if there's anything that looks malefic in that dynamic, you don't even need to waste your time putting your bloody makeup on, because if it's not something you're looking for, it's not something you're looking for. Now, astrology don't lie. You don't have to believe in astrology for it to work. You know, one of the people that I watched a lot of their videos, and they said, you know, I don't believe in English, don't mean I don't use it, don't mean it don't affect me. And the astrology is exactly the same. So this is a way to really kind of know where to place your energy. Is it worth it? Is it not? Is it going to work? Is it not? Where's there going to be problems? Where's there not? You don't really need to look that deep into it to be in the beginning, you know, but, you know, just anything that's going to stand out. Is it something that you want? Is it something, you know, so this is what you can do. You can do anything. You can time travel with astrology. I can go to any place in the world at any time, on any date, future, past. One thing I will say is it's a lot easier to see if it's already happened, because you have some context. That's a lot easier to see than predictory. But, you know, we are somewhere in there, in the ballpark, and it's better than going blind. So you can use it for transits, you know, what's coming up, what energy's coming up for you, what's going to affect you. Things that people like to know about are Saturn returns, because they're usually the big hard hitters. Last time, I think when I had my Saturn return, I had a mental breakdown, which were fun. But I don't think it was a breakdown. It was an awakening. Anyway, won't go into that. I'll go into that on another video on my website. So yeah, so people really liked it. Sarah, the astrology workshop, that's going to be amazing. So that's just, I know I've kept you for far too long. The astrology workshop is going to be a 3-hour-long workshop on a Saturday. It's very, very cheap, guys. I'm really not making that much money off of this workshop, but it's 11.11. So it's at Meanwood Valley Urban Farm in Leeds. And I've hired out a whole room. There's refreshments, teas, coffees. It's going to be a really nice day. It's going to be a big class, so get booked in, because I will be literally giving you the lowdown on astrology, how it works, how it moves through you, why it works. I'm going to be looking at people's charts. You can ask me a question. You can ask me anything about your life and I'll tell you. So even if you're only coming for that, come for that, because there's so much that I will pack into these readings. I will tell you how it works through every single thing, like fairy tales, every film you watch, the hero's journey, tarot, what the planets mean, what the houses mean, what the signs mean, how we can find everything in an astrology chart. You know, we'll look at some famous people's. Whitney Houston's I've done before. She's amazing. I love that chart. So we'll be looking at stuff like that, because once, I'm not trying to convince you to believe in this stuff, but once I show you these coincidences and synchronicities, you will not unsee this stuff. And it will start to play out in your life. And then before you know it, if you invest into it correctly, you can use it. You can use it for everything. You know, I use astrology for everything. You know, if there's a day that don't look good for me to do something, I will not do it. I don't book it. You know, you can avoid pitfalls. You know when your energy is going to be off. Just so you know, the moon's moving through Cancer. It's just moved into Leo. So if you're a Leo, you need to be fasting right now. I can tell you all about that. I can tell you all about, you know, deficiencies in the body, why you get sick. I can probably tell you why you're sick and what you're sick with. So there's nothing that is outside of this chart. So if you want to book on that, guys, I do offer that on my website. But again, a general overview, you can have, you know, book the ticket. Seriously, it's going to be a good day. I make it fun, and I'm going to chuck in a few freebies for you all as well. So, right, guys, I'm going to leave it there, because I've been speaking for 2 hours and 12 minutes. You've all been amazing, as always. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you, because I needed a bit of a pick-me-up tonight, if I'm being totally honest. The last few days have been very, very intense. So it's been a little bit of a release for me as well. So I value that, so thank you. Has anyone got any questions before I leave? If not, I'm going to go. No? Yeah, Sarah, you've booked onto it. Sarah's planets are all in hell, aren't they all? To be quite honest with you, when you've got a lot of planets at the bottom of your chart, it tells me that you're a very people with a lot of planets at the top of their chart. They're very temporal, so they're very much connected to worldly matters. Whereas my chart and yours, Sarah, we're very I've forgotten what the word is opposite temporal. It's more like spiritual, like we take things in. So we like to benefit inwardly, whereas people with planets in the top of the chart like to benefit externally, if that makes sense. They kind of, I won't say the show-offs, but they like people to see, if that makes sense, whereas we're more likely to hide and retreat and keep things out of view. So there's some, really an astrology chart is like a SWOT analysis. So it shows your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. It can show the composition of your blood so that you can actually look for medical ailments to the literal degree. Now, this is something that I'll share with people. I have ADHD, which is why my brain works so fast. Now, the sun really talks about burnout. You know, you can get sunstroke. It's in the sign of Aries, which rules the head. Usually Aries have something very significant about the head. Well, I've got a big scar on my head because I got into an accident when I was younger, which actually I'm thinking wasn't an accident at all. And it's in the 3rd house of Gemini, which is the 2 minds. You know, Gemini is the 2 hemispheres of the brain. And I use those quite considerably, basically. I also had damage to the frontal cortex, which means that there is a dysfunction when it comes to everyday activity thinking. So my brain is very celestial. I exist out there. So day-to-day matters, you know, trivial pursuits, that's not my bag. I don't do well with that. But I can explain the universe to you. So, you know, a win is a win, basically. So, guys, I'm going to go because I'm tired now. I'm going to go get in the bath. I'm going to relax. I'm going to give my mum a ring. And I'm going to, yeah, Joe, do you know what? Get involved and bring your friends down because, if anything, it's just going to give you that bit of oversight. And if people like it and they want me to go that little bit deeper with it, then I can. You know, it really, really depends on what it is that you're looking for and what you want to learn and how much you invest yourself. If there's one thing that I need to tell anybody that's really wanting to get into this stuff, you will only get back what you are willing to invest, and that is it. There's no shortcut. There is no shortcut, and it's a very independent journey, but we can kind of do it together, and I can guide you because I've done it, and it worked, and it was magic, and it still is every day. It really, really amazes me. So get booked on. Go on my website, become a member. You don't have to pay, could become a free member. If you download the app, you'll get notifications every time I do something on that website. You can join a group, you can start a group, you can start a forum. There's loads you can do. But we just need to build that membership up. So just join the free membership for now, and then, you know, we'll work it out together, guys. There's stuff on there you can buy. All the books I'll be speaking about shortly soon. So I'll be able to recommend, you know, if there's something that I think is going to help you, I will tell you where you can buy it. Not all the time you're going to be able to buy it from me. I'm creating tarot decks at the moment, and I've got so much coming up for you lot. It's just I'm pushed for time. Events, like I said, you know, products. I've even been making stuff. I've been making sets. I've been making candles. I've been making all sorts. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So if I can just ask you to bear with me just a little bit, guys, then that's really appreciated. But get involved, absolutely. And any questions, feel free to contact me, peeps. You know where I am. So I'm going to go now, guys. You've been amazing. My throat's sore, and I'll speak to you soon.